at the same time as destruction is sound propagation. So we're going to kick it off with a quick video that kind of showcases sound propagation, and then we're going to talk about it. It's kind of showing like how the waves of sound work into our game. So let's check it out. So LP, can you explain what is this? What are these colors? Those are not in the game usually.
No, that's our debug display to see where the propagation paths are going. We did our community corner on this, but to quickly recap it, what we're doing different on Siege is instead of having sounds go through walls and occlude them, we're recalculating their path to go around walls. But with destruction, what's really cool is that you can recreate the map of sound where you can destroy a wall and create line of sounds if you want for the player to modify what he can listen to. So that's our debug display to illustrate what's actually happening in the algorithm.
And that's something that's really important to players. Like at the first level, there's destruction. It's kind of obvious to new player. They see something breaking, they're like, wow. But the sound is kind of the second layer that you start paying attention to. And I know players it's a huge deal for them. So yeah, why is that in the game? Why not occlusion? Why not another technology?
So it's kind of an audio designer's dream to have a more realistic way that sound propagates. And we've been working on this for a couple of years. And evidently we wanted it in Siege, but we hadn't really realized how important it was to Siege until we started playing the game, until the destruction was in, until we had our maps built. Why? Because our maps are much smaller than what we usually see. So having that occlusion, obstruction, which would be going around the walls, was that more important. And as well, because of bullet penetration, if you can hear somebody right through the wall, it'd be super easy to just shoot them through the wall, and then everybody would be frustrated at never knowing who shot at you. So leveling the playing field on that sense with propagation was like a huge plus and was really necessary.
And it was also something that so it was going really well on the dev team floor with sound propagation. We're like, yeah, it's working with destruction, it's wonderful. Then we released in closed alpha, and players seemed like some were for it, some were against it, mixed reception. Can you tell me about this moment where we talked about it after?
For sure. When we got the feedback from the closed alpha, a lot of people were not understanding, where the sounds were coming from. They thought it was coming from the left. No, it came from the right. And we talked about it quite a bit. And everybody on the dev team was like, "Wow, but this is really cool. So what's happening here?" And we kind of realized that it was really about communication. If we didn't speak about it, it was really hard to imagine how different this whole system would work. So as soon as we released the game, we worked on communicating it and really explaining it. And that was the big difference between the perception of the dev team versus the players in the closed alpha. I believe that once you understand it, that's where it becomes a tool, and that's where you really have fun with it.
It's actually, it brings to your gameplay. It's literally,
a new
like
gameplay,
you said,
for sure,
it's a tool.
Yeah.